Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Tyler Rugge. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am joined with...
Maddie and Badger.
Badger, the rat.
The rat.
Today we are going to be kind of reacting to and talking about SmellyBellyTv's recent video with their new pet ferrets. Now, this was brought to my attention by some people on Twitter and in my comments and stuff who wanted me to talk about it, so I decided it was a good idea because the things they did in this video with their ferrets was extremely dangerous. They did this with their ferrets and their rats, and unfortunately, well, fortunately, I should say, a lot of people have been commenting on their video and tweeting at them and trying to give them constructive criticism and helpful advice on what to do and what not to do and ways to improve. But it unfortunately seems like they aren't very receptive to the criticism, and they've just been telling people to stop bothering them basically about it. First of all, it seems like they kind of impulse bought their ferrets because their ferret care just isn't very good, which isn't really that surprising since a lot of people tend to impulse buy things and go to the pet store and not know how to take care of things. And then they rely on pet store employees to teach them everything they need to know, and usually the care that they learn isn't very accurate. Another really big issue with this video is they put their ferrets together with their rats, and this is extremely dangerous because ferrets eat rats and other rodents in the wild naturally. They're hunters, carnivores, so something really dangerous could have happened. And like I said, people were tweeting at them and stuff, and one of their responses that I found to be interesting was, please let my daughter enjoy her pets and stop ruining her experience with these amazing animals. Just because we show a quick video doesn't mean anyone knows our life. In my opinion, it would ruin her experience with her pets more if the ferrets shred her rats to death in front of her. And also, it's, in my opinion, kind of reasonable to judge someone based on the things they show to the internet, although obviously you aren't showing everything. You're still showing yourself doing things that are kind of dumb, so naturally people are going to want to criticize you and want to help you. And I also want to put out there that the whole point of this video isn't to send hate their way or anything like that. Really, we just want to help them learn and improve their care, and if anything, maybe help their audience or people who have seen their video understand why what they did is wrong, and maybe if someone has a ferret at home after watching this, they'll know what not to do. So that's the ultimate goal of this. So we're not trying to just be hateful. It really is just trying to help someone out with their animal care. So yeah, and also Maddie has experience obviously with rats, and some of you might not know that she also has experience with ferrets.
Yeah, ferrets were like one of the very first pets I ever owned, and then I've owned rats for like 8 years. And Badger is 3, and she's a double Rex, so you can see like her coat is like half naked, but that's like kind of normal for double Rex, so she's not sick or anything, she's just naked.
Yeah. I saw in the comments of the video that people who were criticizing them, they were responding and saying things like, do you even own ferrets? So I thought maybe it would be more credible if I had Maddie with me to help share some information, since she does have experience with rats and ferrets. The video that we're going to be talking about specifically is we try to take our pet ferrets swimming, and in this video they don't even show their ferrets swimming, so not even going to touch on that. But if you have ferrets, do not let them swim in the swimming pool because chlorine is bad for them. But yeah, we're just going to start off at the point where they put the ferrets together with the rats. And then a little bit later on in the video, they're going to show the ferret cage, and we'll talk about that as well.
Okay, so Jayla's going to go get her rats because we heard that ferrets and rats are supposed to like each other.
That's not true.
So let's try it out. Mr. Rat! There he is, little fatty patty. So fun fact, Enzo and Mr. Rat do not get along. Do not get along.
Dog.
And then now it's Shawty. We got Shawty and Mr. Rat. There we go.
At least they acknowledge the fact they shouldn't put their dog with the rats. That's a good thing.
Alright, let's see what they think about the rats. Oh, we just went all in, huh? Okay.
They're interested in each other.
Dog.
Oh, rats pooped in there.
Yeah, they poop.
No, they didn't. That's something else. It's just like the little tabby things that hold it together. Look at that. Is that Shawty? Yeah. Look at Shawty and Bear.
No, Bear's kind of freaking out.
Yeah, he's freaking out a little bit. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
I'm like, I don't know. These rats look a little nervous.
What do we do? Oh, no.
As they should.
What if they start to fight each other?
I don't think they're going to.
You don't think
I'll
so?
pick it up if they do, though.
You're gonna put your hand in there?
I'll-
All those teeth? A lot of teeth in there.
These hands were made for biting.
So first of all, what you'll see is the ferrets are in a little playpen. That's not their permanent cage. That's just an area, I guess they're exercising, and they let the rats go in there. They're making comments about how nervous the rats seem, and they're also talking about the possibility of them fighting, which I find interesting because if you see that as a possibility, why would you put them in that situation where it could happen? To me, it just doesn't seem like a good idea if you're already thinking about that. But yeah, let's just continue.
Alright, so it looks like Mr. Rat, bear. He's biting. He's biting. He's biting. He's biting. Get him out. Get him out. Get him out. Get him out.
Not good. Not good. Okay,
I don't know what yet he's doing in there, but he's got a rat cornered.
all right, I guess these... They
really
might have been just trying to play.
I think so. Maybe we should have just tried like one at a time, one of each at a time, instead of like just throwing them all in, you know, Jayla?
So yeah, the ferrets started biting at the rats, and no, they were not playing. Again, ferrets naturally hunt rats, also minks do, anything in that family. People actually use like minks and ferrets to hunt rats, right?
Yeah, in the UK, like, it's still very common to have ferrets that hunt rats.
Yeah, so not only are ferrets carnivores and they naturally hunt and kill rodents, but they're known specifically to kill rats. So it's just not a good idea in general, usually, to put predator and prey types of animals together, but especially in this situation, it's just especially dangerous. And then they are trying to act like they're just playfully biting at each other, but no. Chances are, if you weren't supervising them, which good thing you were, something really bad could have happened, and chances are the ferrets probably would have killed the rats. So moving forward, hopefully they don't try to put them together or continue to introduce them to each other, because nothing good is going to come out of it. They're not going to be friends. Even if they're domesticated, you can't remove their natural instincts completely. So I'm just going to skip ahead now to where they actually show their ferret cage.
You have to hold on, dude. Like, help us out. He's getting into the treats. Get out of there. So this is their cage where they live. They have a little hammock. They each have their own bed in there. Have their little hide here that we put in there. And then food bowls, and this is where all the food stuff is stored right on top. And Ada puts this like extra supplement stuff on top of their food to keep their coats nice and healthy and shiny. Time for naps. Where are they going? Oh, straight for the food and the water.
So what do you think about the ferret cage?
Well, it's just like, they're like, oh, look, they have their own beds. And then they proceed to set the food dishes, like, right on top of their beds, because there's not enough room to either put it in the resting place or the place where they're pooping and peeing. So, like, you have to set it on there. It's, like, way, way too small for anything to be kept in there.
Yeah, and they showed one hide for the two ferrets, and the hide looked pretty small, even for one ferret, so I don't know. You probably want at least two for the two ferrets if they wanted to, like, be separate, or one big one. But, yeah.
And there's, like, no toys in the cage at all. Like, just way too small for them.
Yeah, and the cage they're using isn't really adequate for any animal that I can think of. Like, I think those are marketed towards, like, guinea pigs and rabbits, and in reality, neither guinea pigs nor rabbits should be kept in those cages either. Unfortunately, a lot of people do, and a lot of the times employees at pet stores will say that that is what you should do, and it's just not. Even though those cages are marketed towards those animals, it's not proper, and they need a lot of exercise. It would be a good cage if they were free roaming the ferrets and they just left the cage open and it was just kind of a place for them to retreat to, or maybe use as a litter box or something, but definitely not like a permanent cage. So what would you recommend for like a ferret cage?
I mean, I had the double ferret nation when I had my ferrets, and
yeah,
I mean, they still came out like several hours a day and played and ran around in like a ferret-proof room. But at least like when I was at school and stuff, they had the place to like, you know, rest and then also wrestle in there. But the only thing I've ever like used one of those cages for is I've used them for like adult male rat quarantine. But that's it.
Yeah, and that's like basically the research I did on ferrets said that, you know, the ferret nation is a pretty decent cage for them, but you obviously don't want to keep them in there all the time. And people said like minimum you should be letting them out and running around for like 4 hours a day. Some people even say longer than that. And as you saw earlier in the video, they do have a little playpen set up, but even that is too small for ferrets. And especially 2 ferrets, they need a lot of space to kind of run around. So typically people will like ferret proof an entire room so that they can just like run around the room and go crazy and get all their energy out and have a lot of space to play. And if you can't provide that for them, then you just shouldn't get the ferrets in the first place. Anything else?
I mean, ferrets are bred still in the UK for, I mean, there's pet ferrets, and then there's, you know, like hunting line ferrets that still have like really intense prey drive. And it's not as much a thing in the US, I guess, to have, you know, hunting ferrets. They're still hunting mink. If you want to see mink hunt, there's a channel on YouTube called The Mink Man, and he does a lot of like people who have like farms that don't use pesticides to get rid of rodents. So he'll go in and hunt with his mink and his dogs, which is interesting to see. But it's also, if you like rodents, it can be kind of hard to watch. So just letting you know in advance.
It's sad, but it is really interesting to see the minks like display their natural hunting behaviors and just see what they do. Because like before I saw that, I didn't even realize, because you wouldn't. They're just so cute, like little like noodles, you know? Like you wouldn't think they'd be like hunting things like that, but it's really cool to see.
I mean, I would like probably prefer that they used mink rather than set out, you know, rat poison and poison like the rats and like the birds and everything that comes into contact with it. So at least there's like some positive to it, you know?
Yeah. So I guess the main takeaway is it was a really dangerous situation they were putting their rats in. Yeah, don't mix your ferrets with really any other small animals, because it's probably not going to be a good thing. And then hopefully they do end up listening to all of the criticism that they have been receiving. Again, they were really defensive about it, which is unfortunate. And a lot of people do get really defensive when people try to criticize their pet care. Even if people are making valid points, people just have issues admitting that they're doing something wrong, because obviously they probably feel bad and don't want to actually think they're doing something wrong. But trust me, it's always a lot better, and people are going to be a lot more happy with you if you just say like, hey, I thought I was doing the right thing, I wasn't, and I'm going to improve it, and just improve it. So don't put your animals together anymore. And then also hopefully they'll get a bigger cage for their ferrets and let them run around more than just in a little pen.
And more toys.
Yeah, and more toys, more enrichment, all of that stuff, definitely. So again, another takeaway from this is if you are going to get an animal, regardless of if it's a ferret, a rat, a reptile, whatever, don't just go to the pet store and expect the employees there to tell you everything you need to know and what you should buy. Because a lot of the times when you go to places like PetSmart and Petco, they don't even sell all of the supplies you realistically need, and they just really give you, I was going to say the bare minimum, but really not even the bare minimum. And that's just how it is, unfortunately. So I always recommend going online and doing a lot of research, and always go into forums that are specific to the animal you want to get. So there's like ferret forums, rat forums, rabbit forums, snake forums, and they're all just people who are like dedicated to that type of animal and will give you really good advice on what you need to give the animal the best life it can possibly have. So don't impulse buy animals. It's not a good thing. Obviously, we've all done it before at some point, probably. So it's okay to make mistakes, just as long as you are open to learning from them and improving. So again, the point of this isn't to like send hate their way. We just want to see them improve, and hopefully also teach their audience what is correct and what isn't correct, because so far they haven't done a very good job at addressing it. So yeah, I guess that's basically it. Huge thanks to Badger for
She wants to go play. She's like, get me out of here, dude.
being a good one.
The realist.
Yeah.
I can't believe how old you are. My baby.
And also thank you, Maddie, for joining me.
Thanks.
Thank you guys for watching today's video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Check out Maddie's channel. It will be linked down below. She has not posted in forever, but she is going to start in the near future. Isn't that right?
Hopefully.
So she has rats and pigeons and cool animals that you can see over on her channel that you're not going to see here on my channel. So her channel will be linked down in the description below. And I will see you guys in my next video.
Oh, well, I tried.